Good job by Randall down there to get 3 guys around him and still come up with the ball.
So Kentucky comes up empty on its first possession. And Northern Kentucky now tries to get the first points of the afternoon.
Kentucky opens up in the man-to-man defense. Nice drive to the basket. This Northern Kentucky group, I talked about their guards, and they're really outstanding. One of them, Jordan Jackson, I think, is about as good a player as at the perimeter that Kentucky will face this year. Northern Kentucky, the Norse, as they're known, and back into their man-to-man defense.
Randall spots up for the 3.
Todd Johnson getting that rebound. Randall with another rebound, moving the ball up the floor quickly. Nice move into Young in the corner. See out front right there, Andrew Harrison picking up at midcourt. Kentucky switching out front. Harrison twins giving up the guards that they were guarding and giving one to the other.
White had it knocked away, and the Norse retain possession. Kentucky with a 2-0 lead and a shot clock at 4. And Jordan Jackson had to force one. And an extra possession for the Norse.
A little surprised that they took that shot. Talking to their head coach Dave Beazold yesterday, he says we don't want to get into a running game or frenetic pace. And already Kentucky getting inside against a smaller Northern Kentucky team.
There's Dave Beazold in his 10th season as head coach, 27 years around the Northern Kentucky program, longtime assistant. And he is old school, Larry, and in terms of hardcore, he gets after his guys and they respond for him.
Well, Kentucky starts off with a made free throw. That's a change from what we witnessed on Friday.
Well, that's only because Randall's at the line.
Yes.
Who has been their best free throw shooter as you look at John Calipari in season number 5. Randall missed the second. Phillips committed that foul. Northern Kentucky still looking for its first points of the afternoon.
Collick-Stein extended out there, guarding Jalen Phillips.
Jackson against Collick-Stein, and he can't get it to go. But guess what? Stayed with it. So you've got Jackson, Johnson, White, that man, Murray, and Jalen Phillips with the lineup for Northern Kentucky. And Randall, as play is stopped, got hit in the side of the face. Looked like maybe caught an inadvertent hand or finger there in the left eye. See him being looked at by the Kentucky training staff. So Alex Poythress checks in. So it's Poythress, Andrew and Aaron Harrison, Willie Cauley-Stein, and James Young for Kentucky. And there's the hand check. Harrison got a step on Johnson, and here's the injury, Larry.
Yeah, let's go back and take a look again and see where this happened. You can see him in the rebounding fracas right there. Just as he reached up and grabbed it, you could see the ball was taken away down the inside by Jordan Jackson, and it was about the time Julius Randle reached up and tried to protect his eye, but it was too late.
Andrew Harrison couldn't get the runner, and it was a good play by Jackson, who was just trying to come down with some force and strip the basketball. Wildcats turn it over.
You know, at practice yesterday, I had a conversation with Dave Beazold. You and I were sitting there, and he had two things to say that I thought maybe we should bring out today. I asked him about his club playing at Purdue on Friday. He said, I was surprised at how well we played. He said, we came out, said, we haven't had a chance to work on a lot of things. He said, I thought our guys gave a great effort. I asked him how he was going to play Kentucky. He says, I have no idea how to defend these guys.
Aaron Harrison off the bounce, and Cauley Stein way up to get it. And he was fouled. Phillips whistled for his second. There you see just how young Beazold's team is. Now, while he told us that, Larry, earlier in practice, he really got after his team. Well, they said, he said, hey, listen, you know, everybody patting us on the back because we got close. We're not here to be close.
I like the fact that he's a little bit old school.
Mm-hmm. No kind of school like an old school.
Northern Kentucky in only their second year of Division I competition. Member of the Atlantic Sun.
Jake Geisler, 6'7" sophomore from Fort Thomas, Kentucky, checks in. Wearing number 20.
Oh, good maneuver to the basket. That was a great cut by Jordan Jackson. Jackson, a young man out of junior college, Wilson State College. Averaged 15 points a game last year. Watch his cut. I mean, really, he blows by Aaron Harrison right there. I said at the beginning of the show tonight, I thought they would have a hard time guarding these small guards of Northern Kentucky.
Look at those Friday numbers for Jackson and what was his Northern Kentucky debut. And as we are just 4 seconds away from the first media timeout, Northern Kentucky's played awfully well. If they could put the ball in the basket, they'd have something going, but that is their first point of the afternoon. And from the field, they are 0 for 6 to start things.
Nice ball movement.
And a nice rebound by Poitras, who sticks it back in.
I'll tell you, Poitras had a good game the other night off of the glass, and he's doing it again to start this one. Coming off of the bench with the injury to Randall, who's over there right now tending to his eye.
White looking out top.
One thing you don't want to do is pick up your dribble. If you're going to go, take it all the way down the inside. Look, Kentucky just dominating that defensive glass.
And Northern, a really good three-point shooting team, and they're 0 for 4 from outside the arc so far. Great hustle by Aaron Harrison, but they say the Cats were on the sideline. Poitras couldn't get that one, but he got this one.
Well, it depends on where you want to put them. Sometimes they go all the way from the knee to the ankle. They used to call those support hose.
Yes, they did. Joe McNish, our statistician, still wears those regularly.
Nice move. Good cut. That time, Andrew Harrison making a move to the right. Instead of giving the ball up, he put it in the basket. Something that he can do well. I mean, it's not just his ability to defend and also pass the basketball. He can shoot. High pick and roll by Northern Kentucky. Nice cut to the basket in, down inside by White.
Flournoy, and that's the first three-pointer of the afternoon for Northern Kentucky. Jack Flournoy, the sophomore out of Mount Hope, West Virginia.
12 points off the bench against Purdue the other night.
Boy, now, Larry, that's the shot. We've talked an awful lot about Alex Poitras. If Alex Poitras can come off the screen and hit that mid-range jump shot, this team becomes really scary.
Well, the fact that they've got him and they've also got Marcus Lee, I mean, two big guys that can come and play on the inside. You get a couple of guys outside that can perform, and you got depth at every position. You're too deep.
There's Geisler. Take a look at Johnson out front there. He's got those socks coming down to almost meet the knee pads. And that long three by White won't go. Randall and Dakari Johnson checking in, but nice play last trip down by Alex Poitras.
Good job by Poitras. You see him get his balance. He got into a rhythm jump shot. Took one little move off of that screen, came across, one dribble, got himself set, squared up, and shot it perfectly. And the result is exactly what it should have been if you do that right.
And Larry did a nice job with that offhand of controlling the basketball and getting in a position where he could go up and hit that jump shot. So the Cats, after missing their first 4 from the field, have now gone 4 from their last 6.
Zone defense by Northern Kentucky this trip. How about Todd Johnson back up to get that rebound? You see how high he got up?
I'm telling you, that kid can get off the floor, Larry. He had double-digit rebounds against Purdue in that last-second loss. Boy, and they take it right at the basket, and Jackson came down right on his tailbone. You can see him holding his backside right there. Made a great move to the basket, and from courtside, we could hear a big thud.
He got a pretty good bump that time coming down inside. Looked like Dakari Johnson hit him as it watched Johnson come off the other side. And caught him by the leg. He got his leg extended there, and they got wrapped up.
Dave Beazold over there on the Northern Kentucky bench is saying, I believe that would fall under the definition of restricting freedom of movement.
Well, he took a real spill there.
And when he took that spill, Johnson coming over and trying to help on defense was doing what he was supposed to be doing. But it put Jackson in a situation where he couldn't brace himself when he fell. And he fell right on the tailbone.
Looked like Johnson got him on the upper torso, but he had that leg extended, and it kind of threw him off balance.
35, Deontay Cole, 6'6", 190-pound freshman from Toledo. Checks in from Northern Kentucky. And there's Andrew Harrison with his first three. I wonder if those guys have ever come out in the game and switched numbers and tried to mess anybody up. Oh, what a pretty shot. Johnson got just a sliver and made the most of it.
Boy, Poitras is really lighting it up early here.
This was a 4 o'clock game, but, you know, on the early game, you think, yeah, everybody start a little slow, but after a sluggish start shooting for both teams, they've now both gotten into an offensive rhythm, and Kentucky, with an 8-point margin, has its biggest lead.
Northern Kentucky again spreading the court. 3 guys out, 2 guys under. A little high pick and roll if they can get it. Good cut to the basket and a pass.
Piece of it, Aaron Harrison got it. And Johnson started that play at 5'9", being guarded by 6'9" Julius Randle, who then lost it at the other end.
That's goaltending.
Poitras with a great hustle.
3-point shot. Already with 7 points, he leads Kentucky in scoring. The basketball player, again, as I said, if he comes off the bench and plays as well as he is today, and Lee does the same thing during the season, they got 2 big guys that can really help them.
Poitras again, and that time he got it blocked. Anthony Monaco with the block.
And again, Alex Poitras getting inside the action. Tried to go to the baseline, had it slapped away. Fortunate to have Dakari Johnson right there to pick the ball out of the air.
Can't hit the free throw.
Taking a point in Kentucky is James Young. Coming out is Andrew Harrison.
Kentucky once again picking up 3-quarter court. You can see Young out front picking up Todd Johnson. I will remind you that Johnson is 5'9", and now they've switched it off as they've given him over to Aaron Harrison, who is 6'5".
I'm sure in his career he's played against guys a lot bigger all his life. What a save by Aaron Harrison, and look at Young go to the deck. People talk about McDonald's All-Americans and how they're coddled. There's a couple that just went to the deck.
Nice effort. Again, you can see the play by Aaron Harrison trying to come up with the ball. Young just can't quite come up with it, and a nice slide into second base right on the baseline.
Northern started off this game 0 for 7 from the field, and since then they have hit 4 out of their last 6. Flournoy job by Randall as he went way up to get it. Good catch. Better finish. What a play by Julius Randle at both ends of the court.
You know, one of the things that we get in college basketball is what we call a shot chart. Watch this shot right here by Randle. He catches it. Got 3 guys. They've surrounded him. Gets the foul on the elbow and still gets it in. I think sometimes that shot chart, when we record it, for him this year, I think maybe I'd like to find out how many different places on the floor he's going to score. A 3, nice maneuver inside, the offensive rebounding, the mid-range jump shot, a little turn, that little maneuver he makes in the lane.
And he really shows an ability to do that, Larry, without committing the offensive foul, which is difficult for a big man to do.
Kari Johnson doing a nice job on the glass.
Oh, they're heating up now as the Kentucky lead stretches to 13.
Northern Kentucky not shooting the ball nearly as well as they did against Purdue the other night when they shot 50% from beyond the three-point line. Kentucky making it pretty difficult on them tonight. That's what happens when you face a long team like Kentucky. And again, Johnson.
How about that? Flournoy picks up his second. And look at Dakari Johnson go to work. And we talked about it the other night, Larry. This Kentucky staff has put in a lot of time with the bigs using both hands. And these guys, in a lot of different situations, are as comfortable going to the offhand as they are their natural hand.
Dave, I'll tell you another thing that's going to happen later on. The alterations by these big men down on the inside for Kentucky, because the tapes will show other teams that they're going to play that they can do that, and they will start to collapse. They're going to be able to make the pass out. Another great move inside. Randall.
Not only the great move, but he chased down the missed free throw. I'm telling you, people keep talking about this Kentucky talent, and they should talk about it. But this team plays hard. 11-0 is the Wildcat run. Murray.
I'll tell you one thing, they are not getting unrestricted shots. There's a Kentucky guy with a hand in their face almost on every position.
Johnson's going to go to work again. Oh, he spun to the baseline. They just keep going after loose ball. The hustle has been pretty outstanding. And the one thing, and we talked just a little about it the other night, Larry, from a Kentucky perspective, the one thing that causes you to pause just a little bit, it just doesn't seem that James Young is shooting the ball nearly as well from the outside since he rolled that ankle in the exhibition finale than he did prior to that. Geisler called for the foul as you see Monaco go to the bench and Kentucky in the bonus for the first time. Wildcat free throw shooting well documented.
Kentucky doing a good job off of the glass. 18-8 already.
What about that? 6 of 10 from the free throw line today, Larry, which is not nearly what they want, but compared to what it has been, it's trending upward. Shot clock under 10. White got it to go from deep.
Well, I'll tell you what, Julius Randle was right there with a hand in his face, and he still got it in.
That is just the second triple for Northern Kentucky. 2 of 12 from outside the arc. And Randle will go to the free throw line. Yeah, he can get the ball down on a low block.
Ready when it was his chance. Hardly played it all in that second exhibition game, but when he came out there, he had the readiness we need from everybody to be successful this season. And he said, Tom, do you know, Marcus Lee went back to the practice facility after the UNC Asheville game and shot more free throws, working on his game as a freshman in this lineup for the Wildcats.
Well, they've got those technologically advanced key fobs, so they can get access to that facility whenever they want. Murray commits the foul. It's his first. Johnson had it knocked away. So for Kentucky, it's Andrew Harrison, Lee, Cauley Stein, Randall, and James Young, and there's Randall with a block. Young put it on the deck and then stepped on the end line. And struggling just a little bit from the outside. Tried to make a move and get himself a little higher percentage shot as the Cats turn it over for just the second time this afternoon as we hit the 7-minute mark of the first half. Wow, nice move inside. Daniel Camps with a baby hook.
Got it around Lee, too. Look at that. 2 offensive rebounds on the miss by James Young.
And that is the essence of what John Calipari wants to have happen with the dribble drive. Just put it up there, because we not only got one guy that can go get it, we got a bunch of guys that can go get it. Of course, Randall having a huge first half. And Dave Beazle wants a timeout on the Northern Kentucky bench. 12 offensive rebounds for this Kentucky basketball team.
If you like rebounding, you're going to love this team. Cauley Stein finishing it off. He had a good night the other night against UNC Asheville, and gets up and does it again. Like you say, they've got about 7 guys that can get up on that glass. They could potentially almost any night get a double figures in rebounds. Already 12 second chance points for the Wildcats, led by that man right there.
And with 6:05 to go in the first half, Julius Randle with 9 points and 8 rebounds already. He is statting it up. Cats match their largest lead at 19 as you take a look at those rebounding numbers.
Good idea by Tyler Watt. He was in a lot of trouble down on that baseline. The 3 Kentucky players ready to swat one out of there. He tried to put it up.
Clock at 5. White's going to have to launch it. And Kentucky with another defensive stop. And John Calipari gives Marcus Lee a double fist pump for that effort. Cats had 3 of those 4 shot clock violations on Friday night. And that's their first of this day.
Northern Kentucky in a 2-3 zone right now. You'll watch Kentucky attack this. They'll try to get it down inside and move the ball on an angle to the other side like they just did. Oh, good offensive rebound again. Already Kentucky with 11 offensive rebounds.
Cauley Stein now has 9 rebounds. Randall with 8. 17 of the Cats' 24 rebounds from those 2 big guys inside.
Oh, look at Harrison leak out. Oh, nice pass. Randall got it to him, led him. All he had to do was just pick it off a couple of dribbles, and then easy went off the glass. Good pass that time by Julius Randall.
Boy, and Aaron Harrison was motoring, but he just looked so effortless in doing it.
Oh, what a great tip in. Who was it that got that? Was that White? Yeah, it was White. Skylar White was a terrific play. That good tip in inside.
It took a terrific play for Northern to get the ball in the basket as Lee couldn't handle the pass. Only the third Kentucky turnover of the half. So Kentucky stretched the lead.
A break over there.
17 of those 24 rebounds have come from Cauley Stein and Julius Randall. Cauley Stein with 9, Randall with 8. Just before that timeout, Aaron Harrison was whistled for his second foul of the afternoon. White lost it on the curl. Kentucky has used a lot of clock when they could on their offensive possessions.
Well, nice job on defense. Nobody pushing, no hand checking, no chucking on the cutters. Good movement of the feet.
Offensive rebound by Matt Rosenwinkel, who just checked in, and immediately Northern turns it over. Fourth turnover against the Norse. Dakari Johnson checks back into the Kentucky lineup. Julius Randall goes to the bench where he'll get some air. Marcus Lee checks out as well. Alex Poitras in for him. Nope, check it. Randall's back in now. He was over the bench just getting a towel. So it's Andrew Harrison, James Young, Dakari Johnson, Randall, and Alex Poitras for the Cats. Johnson, White, Rosenwinkel, Geisler, and Daniel Camps for Northern Kentucky. And the Cats turn it over.
Well, high pick and roll there being executed by Northern Kentucky. Guys are trying to get out. Couldn't make the roll. Dakari Johnson wouldn't let him. Good long-range shot. Camps.
Got a good look at it and knocked it down.
It's one of the dangers the teams are going to have against Kentucky. If you start to pack that zone defense back into that lane and you get too deep with it, they've got too many weapons from beyond that three-point stripe. They can shoot you right out of a game.
Oh, look at Johnson. He probably feels like he got a little bump. Randall out ahead of the pack.
Nice pass by Randall.
Randall ran that break down the sideline here, and he saw that coming. 23 points matches Kentucky's largest lead of the first half.
A good follow by Geisler. Wasn't that a pretty play?
Kid just kept going. With that last play, Alex Poitras starts it with the outlet pass.
He gets it to Young. Randall down inside to Dakari Johnson, and he finishes it off. 4 different Kentucky players touched that basketball from one end of the court to the other.
And most importantly, as Coach Rupp used to preach to you all, the ball hardly touched the court on that break.
No, he always told me just give the ball to Dampier and get out of the way. Good shot. Now that's the type of shot that you're going to expect to see from James Young this year. I think you might be right there. I think he maybe is hurting a little bit from that ankle. He didn't shoot the ball as well after that injury as he was shooting it before.
That's his first 3 in 4 attempts, his second field goal. And that gives the Cats their biggest lead of the afternoon.
Northern Kentucky once again spreading the court. A little high pick and roll. Double up on Wyatt on the wing.
Just a circus shot. And then that was a big-time hammer by Julius Randle. Whew. Mercy. Somebody convinced him that you get extra points for slamming it hard. Kentucky has really asserted itself here in the second part of the first half. And a whistle. And Andrew Harrison is going to get called for that hand check, his first. Willie Cauley-Stein checks back in for the Cats. Cole Murray and Flournoy back in for Northern Kentucky.
It is only the 4th team foul committed by Kentucky in this first half. Another couple, if they want to give them, they can, but there's, what, 27 seconds left?
Coach Gal just wanted to play here. One of those situations they might very well face down the road in the regular season. So how do you play it? Mano y mano. Randle finally got his hands on it. And I believe he'll be credited with a rebound on that. And if that's the case, that will give him a first half double-double. Randle, Harrison, Willie Cauley-Stein, and Poitras. That balance continues to be awfully good for Kentucky. Randle with a double-double in the first 20 minutes, 11 points to go along with 10 rebounds.
Kentucky opens up in the man-to-man defense once again.
Rosenwinkel, White. That three-pointer is up and in by Phillips. Johnson and Cole Murray, the starters for Northern Kentucky. The Cats go with Randle, Andrew Harrison, Aaron Harrison, James Young, and that man Willie Cauley-Stein. And there you see Jordan Jackson. He got those 3 points and 2 rebounds. He had 24 against Purdue the other night. They say that bruise is in the lower back. It's real lower.
A pretty hard spill. He actually ran into Bakari Johnson, or Johnson ran into him as he was going on the baseline and kind of clipped his heels and drove him down.
And we've just gotten word from the Northern bench that he will in fact be out for the rest of the game. And it'll be interesting to see. Northern has given a good accounting of themselves, but they took about, I think it was just under a 4-hour bus ride up to Purdue on Thursday night, played Friday, came back, slept in their own bed, and then we're back here in Lexington for shoot around last night. And that's a nice jump shot. Tyler White hits. So the Norse have come out and hit 2 threes for a little 6-0 run to start the second half. And for the second straight possession, Andrew Harrison is fouled on the drive.
I'll tell you what, he can really put the ball on the floor, and he can get into that lane in a hurry. Calipari loves this dribble drive when he gets his offense going. If he's got a point guard that can dribble in there that quickly and be as strong as he is and deliver the pass to the guys on the wings, it's what you want, and he's got him in that guy, Andrew Harrison.
And the whistles have come early here in the second half. Randle gets that one. It's his second. As you look at John Calipari in front of the Kentucky bench. Second regular season game, but the de facto last tune-up before the #1 versus #2 matchup Tuesday night. Kentucky and Michigan State in the Champions Classic.
So an article in the paper today about #1s versus #2s. There haven't been many of them in the history of college basketball.
Hadn't been many, and then just before the end of 2013, you'll have a matchup here of the last 2 national champions, Kentucky and Louisville. White with a pull-up. 8 in a row for Northern Kentucky out of the locker room.
3 good baskets, a couple of trays, and a nice mid-range jump shot.
patented move by Randall as he goes up and under.
The foul is on Phillips. That's his third.
Tyler White for Northern Kentucky with a nice maneuver right here. He's got Cauley Stein hawking him. He gets that ball up over his outstretched arm. That's a guy 7 feet with a pretty good wingspan. He was still able to get it over him.
Phillips whistled for the foul. It's his third. And like I said, you've got White Larry at 6'3". You've got Todd Johnson at 5'9", which might be generous. Those are guys who are playing the guard spot for Northern Kentucky, who are in all likelihood used to having to take those high arching shots over much bigger opponents. Stein with a steal as he knocked it away from Phillips. Oh, look at Harrison. That's a big-time move right there. He crossed it over Larry, and then he absorbed the contact.
I want to tell you what, he took a pretty good bump right there on that shot, and it still was able to get it to go into the net.
And that's the one thing I'm sure that coaches are going to talk about throughout the early part of this year, Larry. You see the hand check called there, and then nothing on the bump there.
Aaron Harrison with a nice job of, you're right, taking the shot to the blow, still able to get it up and in.
Andrew Harrison goes to the Kentucky bench. Poythress replaces him. And a nice closeout by Cauley Stein. They let that one go. And Randall couldn't gather himself and stepped out of bounds before turning up court. Fifth turnover against Kentucky.
Boy, he's a rebounding machine, isn't he?
Isn't he, though?
Oh, man. He goes in and takes it away from his own players.
Cauley Stein. He called for the foul of White.
I think here's the situation. You've got Cauley Stein there guarding Tyler White. White at 6'3", Cauley Stein at 7 feet. He got by him, and then Stein committed the foul. John Calipari will tell him, look, don't commit the foul. You know you've got help back there. Randall's in the lane. He's going to help you. That would shut him off, and I'm sure he would have had to give the ball back out to somebody on the wing. Good switch by Kentucky. Randall and Poythress.
Kentucky was called for 4 fouls in the first half. They've already been whistled for 3 here. And they haven't reached the first media timeout in the final 20 minutes. Johnson couldn't get it to go. And John Calipari in mid-season voice across the way. Randall got it to go.
You see, I didn't think that bump was as bad as the other one, the previous play. No. Jack Flournoy kind of gave him a little brush right here. It wasn't bad.
And you know, Larry, that's not a negative. That's not a negative on the officials, but they're getting used to this new freedom of movement thing in the early part of the season as well. And there you see Randall hits the free throw. He's waving to the bench. And he's either asking, what do you want me to do, or I want somebody in. And Calipari's looking at him like, listen, bud, you ain't going anywhere. As long as I'm coaching, you're playing. Largest lead for Kentucky now at 27.
Nice handle again that time by Tyler White. He looked up and realized that he's got Poythress on him. A little crossover dribble, and he made it to the lane. And once he got inside there, Poythress was trailing him from about the free throw line in. He committed the foul.
White knocks down that free throw, and Randall is looking for some air. Cauley Stein coming in, and Randall was already over at the bench before that free throw was up in the air. Young man's playing hard. Game for Tyler White, too, as he knocks in his 12th. And that's what John Calipari wants these guys to do, Larry, is play as hard as you can, and then when you're out of gas, let me know. I'll get somebody in there for you.
How many guys are really willing to do that, huh?
Well, when you can produce like Julius Randle does, he probably does because he knows he's going back.
That's right. There's those guys are a little reluctant to say, boy, I got to get out of here. I'm tired. Nope, going to stay out here.
Aaron Harrison gets his 7th point. And then it's Johnson who gets bumped by Harrison.
First 2 games under Calipari was John Wall with 40 points. I think our man sitting right there, Julius Randle, will surpass that today.
He is on his way. Tom Wormy, he's a guy that goes about things the right way every day.
Yeah, absolutely, Buzz. We all know that he's going to be a star for this Kentucky team, and for that matter, already is. But it's the attitude that he has in practice. When I had a chance to talk to him, very humble and giving a lot of credit to his teammates and his coaching staff. He says, we know we're getting a lot thrown at us, but this is fun. It's basketball. The repetition's going to make us better. I'm confident in myself and my teammates. We're young, but we played a lot of basketball. And he knows these guys from the AAU and high school circuits and all that kind of thing. And he says the coaching staff has prepared us well. Well, will they be prepared on Tuesday? We know Julius Randle will be there to take on those Spartans in Chicago.
He has not played a game of any type at Kentucky where he has not had a double-double so far. 2 double-doubles in the exhibitions and already a double-double in the first half today. Young Andrew Harrison, who's got the first double-figure game of his career. Nice crossover. Couldn't finish it, though. So it's Young and Andrew Harrison along with Willie Cauley-Stein, Poitras, and Dakari Johnson for Kentucky. And I think John Calipari's got to be pleased with the way Andrew Harrison has played in these last 2 games since coming back from that knee bruise.
Well, he's everything that they advertised for him. His ability to maneuver with the basketball, put it on the deck, get into the lane, and find the open man, and make the shot when he can't find the open man.
Murray got a good look but couldn't knock it down. And as we mentioned, Randall's stay on the Kentucky bench was a short one. They gave him a couple of extra minutes during the media timeout, but now he's right back in there, and Alex Poitras sits down. Boy, Randall wanted it on that cut. Johnson didn't get it to him. Look how hard he works. And he's fouled on the play. Boy, I'm telling you, Larry, you know, some guys float around and want the basketball. I mean, he goes hard, as you say, to make himself available.
Not often you find a player that he's not reticent about going into that lane when he doesn't have the ball. And even if there are a lot of people around, he feels confident in his ability to catch it and get it up and get it in. So strong.
Randall got both of the free throws.
You know, when you're 6'9" and you're 250, you got to feel pretty good about yourself.
There it is. Most points by a freshman in the first 2 games under John Calipari. 41 for Julius Randle. And, oh, he's still got about 14 and a half minutes of this one still to go. Randall, Andrew Wiggins, and Jabari Parker. A debate which will no doubt continue all season long. Johnson with a long 3, and he knocked it down over Andrew Harrison.
I love that little guy.
Johnson, we've talked about the fact that he's such a little guy at 5'9". He had double-digit rebounds against Purdue. White couldn't get it to go, and the Cats wanting to push the tempo. Randall draws the charge. Not that draws the charge, draws the block, avoids the charge.
That's a word we're not going to hear a lot of.
No, we're not. That's what I was thinking.
You fans out there, if you tuned in to watch the exhibition games, as you've seen Kentucky play the first game of the season and this second one, we've talked a great deal about the change in the rules as Randall gets it easy on the side. You might as well get used to not seeing very many charges this year, and early on you'll see a lot of free throws, but I think players will make adjustments. You'll see them make changes in their defensive work. The question is, what coaches are going to have difficulty getting their teams to get them to do that?
You know, Larry, I'm here thinking, I don't know that we have seen a charge in this, our 4th game we've done here. Randall. And a nice job, Harrison. Saw Dakari Johnson coming, and he draws the foul. Today's Kentucky basketball game is being presented by Drake's. Come play.
Johnson at the line for 1 for the Bulls.
So Dakari Johnson goes to the free throw line for the 1-on-1. Kentucky's free throw shooting, although I can't give you an exact quote just yet, my sense is here it's much better than it has been to this point in the season. Those two looked awfully good. Largest lead by the Cats. And I can't tell you the last time Northern Kentucky got a bucket inside the paint. I don't remember the last one inside the three-point line.
Yeah, White got one. A little mid-range jump shot, the 3rd basket of the 2nd half that they had. They had 2 threes to start the 2nd half.
He was just inside the arc there, but couldn't get it to go. Boy, these guys, once they get it off the glass, they get going the other way as Harrison is charged with traveling. 6th turnover against Kentucky. Brother Aaron checks back in the lineup. James Young goes to the bench. Willie Cauley-Stein still on the Kentucky bench. Poitras, Johnson, Randall, and the Harrisons in there for Kentucky.
2-3 zone being shown now by Kentucky.
Oh my gosh. I can't remember the last time Calipari played a 2-3 zone. I mean, not in pickup.
Pretty nice maneuver right there by Cole. Deontay Cole making a basket in the corner. Maybe Kentucky doesn't want to stay in that zone for very long.
You know, at one point in time last year, he credited Joe B. Hall as Harrison gets it to go on the spin. The Associated Press top 10, number 1 versus number 2. As Andrew Harrison hits. Would the last 1 versus 2 matchup, Larry, been Memphis and Tennessee in 08?
Yes, it was. Exactly.
John Calipari knows a little bit about that.
John Calipari lost that game to Bruce Pearl's Volunteers.
Michigan State ranked number 2 awaiting the Cats on Tuesday night in Chicago.
Second game's pretty good, too. Kansas and Duke.
I guess that's why they call it the Champions Classic.
I'll tell you what, you could easily mark those 4 down as the Final Four.
The only thing that might be more impressive than the games themselves would be the business that the ticket brokers do for that.
Kentucky's still in that zone defense. They've gone back to man-to-man. Good blocking side by Dakari Johnson and a good steal that time by Harrison. And Andrew gives it up to his brother.
Boy, and a nice finish by Aaron. But the thing I was impressed with, Larry, was after getting that block, Dakari Johnson, who at this point in his career is not the fastest guy, was right there step for step with Harrison.
He knows where his bread's buttered. He's going to get down there and try to get open. Those guys are going to get him the basketball. I'll tell you the one thing that John Calipari has done well in the years that he has been at Kentucky, he has gotten his big people to run the floor as well as any coach I have seen. You know, centers that get down the floor in a hurry and they make themselves, as I say, make them available, get them in there. You got a guy that can deliver the basketball. Well, those are easy points. I'm all for easy points.
You don't get credit for style points, do you?
Nope. They all count. They all look good in the paper the next day. Or on your iPad.
Larry Conley embracing the digital world. Randall. See, that's the way these guys are. They both wanted the rebound. Instead of the basket, they wanted the rebound stat.
That's what I say. Randall takes it away from his own guys.
I wonder who got credit for that one. Tom Wormy standing by, believe it or not, with an iPad story, Tom.
Yeah, you guys are talking technology over there, and today at the shoot-around, Coach Calipari said to all the players, I'm going to send you a video clip on your iPad, and he's going to go old school with it. Bernard King, 15 years in the NBA, 3-time SEC Player of the Year. He said, take a look at this video and watch how King approaches a rookie who's kind of joking around in the warm-up session. In the video, King says, hey, Rook, when you get on this court, it's time to play. You have to do the mental preparation the moment you walk on the court, or you won't ever be ready. I jokingly asked Coach Cal if that's how he did it back in the UMass days, and he rolled his eyes at me. He said, video clips, that's a thing of the future, and we are here now, Larry, a long way from 1966.
Yes, we are. I'll tell you one thing about Bernard King. I've seen a lot of players, thousands of them in my lifetime. I've never seen anybody catch the ball inside and get it off to the basket quicker than he did. Well, he'd catch it and just turn around, the ball be off the glass and in the basket.
You know, we were talking the other day, apparently, I think it was announced the other day that that student center, and I guess old Stokely's actually being torn down. They're on the Tennessee campus. Is that right, Joe? Joe's got a Mason shoe distributorship down in Knoxville when he's not here with us. But I mean, you talk about some SEC history with the Ernie and Bernie show and Ray Mears and the unicycle and everything else that happened down there.
Yeah. Jalen Billups with a nice turnaround shot right there against that Kentucky defense.
Randall will go to the line. I'm telling you, I guess he could actually qualify for probably some sort of triple-double or something, Larry, because in the first two games he's had points and rebounds, but he's also in double digits in terms of free throws.
Well, if he continues to be the dominant force on the offensive end as far as scoring is concerned, I think a lot of teams are going to play Kentucky are going to probably end up fronting him and getting a lot of offside, backside help. I mean, once he catches the ball in there, you just can't get it away from him, and he finds a way to get it up there. I think I would defer and just simply front him and keep him from catching the ball.
Billups has whistled for his fourth foul. Oh, and how about that play right there? Right in front of John Calipari. He has got to like that. Poitras going to the floor, called for the timeout. He got it, and the cat. And Larry, we talked about it in the pregame. Last time Kentucky won a national championship, a guy named Darius Miller had been the MVP in the SEC tournament the year before, and Cal brought in all these great guys, and Miller had to take a very different role. And it was crucial for the Cats winning that championship. And Alex Poitras early on looks like he could very well play that same kind of role.
Well, if he does and plays as well as he's played in these first two games, then Kentucky will have a terrific year.
Long three-pointer by Dean Danos won't fall. And the Cats, guess what? Will go back to the free throw line. Kentucky by 30.
Needs to understand that. Yes, it took him a solid year to figure that out. Not a playmaker, a finisher. Take that ball, finish, look to score. And what he also likes is the way Poitras can crash the glass with his teammates as well. He's a key ingredient for this ball club this year.
It's part of that whole twin thing that they have going on here with the Cats. We talked about the Harrison brothers. Alex actually has a twin sister. A lot of people didn't know that Anthony Davis had a twin sister. As Aaron Harrison hits the free throw. And before I forget, some get well wishes to my friend Hector Martinez, who is up in the Northwestern Hospital up in Chicago. He's recouping up there watching the game. And because he's recouping and following doctor's orders like he doesn't always do, but he is this time, his son is going to get to go to the doubleheader on Tuesday night.
Nice spin move. Oh, that was pretty. Jalen Billups. Phillips with a couple of nice maneuvers here in the second half.
I think he's been a guy that Dave Beazold can look at and say, hey, we might have a little something here. There's Poitras. Good move. And how about Lee coming across the lane and tipping it back in over his head? That's that volleyball experience of his.
Yeah, he was a great volleyball player. Actually, that was his big sport. So he picked up basketball.
Got about a half a dozen D1 offers. Oh. That kid is, I'm telling you, we haven't seen a lot of emotion from either one of the Harrison brothers, but I mean, when they get it in a position like this, they're going to finish now.
Aaron Harrison once again getting into the passing lane and able to come up with that ball. Very, very good at getting there in that position and finishing it off.
Kentucky has not only got some great talent, but I mean, they have got some guys that can finish now. You know, you see all kinds of guys that have talent. And those finishers that we talked about, I think they're finished. John Hood, Jared Polson. Lee stays in there. Derek Willis checks into the Kentucky lineup. Dominique Hawkins, the freshman from Madison Central High School down in Richmond, Kentucky, just down the road, is set to check in for Aaron Harrison at the next dead ball.
Nice grab that time by Aaron Harrison on his own missed free throw. Little weave out front. Good pass inside.
Hood couldn't handle it. Hood is called for the foul. So these Kentucky starters, Larry, are going to have some eye-popping stats. And they're going to be in about 30 minutes or so of work. 35 minutes. John Hood, the senior from Madisonville. You hear the round of applause for Harrison checking out. I'm sure John would tell you that he has developed each one of those guys into NBA players.
That's a great stat right there. Played with 17 different NBA players. How about that?
He is such a good guy too. You know, you're in the parking lot, you know, and you're taking off a coat and tie or something, you know, and we've done it in a million parking lots around the SEC, and so I'm doing it the other night. All of a sudden I hear, hey, this isn't the locker room. And it's Hood and the Hood family. He is just so happy to be out here and to be a part of this team after what he's gone through.
Growing a little beard, too.
Yeah, he said it was his Thanksgiving beard. Of course, he had to start growing it about May.
Nice block inside once again by Lee.
Oh, what a good look by Hawkins.
This group that's come in has moved the ball extremely well. Nice maneuver by Hood.
Nice decision. Got himself a better shot. And he'll go to the free throw line.
Marcus Lee inside. Waiting for him to go up. You can see the attempted shot by Jack Flournoy. For not. Nicely done by Marcus Lee. Been impressed with Lee. He's given them good minutes. The only question I've got about him is his hands. He doesn't catch the ball really well. He needs to make sure he lets that ball into his hands. This is an old adage I learned a long time ago when I first started playing. I had coaches tell me, look the ball into your hands. You know, make sure you catch it.
That's because his primary skill set all these years has been when a ball comes at him to knock it as far away as he can.
Just get up as high as you can over that net and hit it as hard as you can.
Hit it into the floor as quickly as possible. But think about it. We say that as well as he's played, and when he's about your fourth option inside, you're in a pretty good situation depth-wise.
You are indeed. Good rebound by Willis. Watch him push. Tried to make a play that wasn't there, and White stripped him.
Oh! Good take by White. And a nice tip by Daniel Camps.
I didn't think we'd see Camps here this afternoon. He's played decently.
Hawkins went flying in for that rebound, but couldn't get it.
Smart move by Willis. Give the ball up to the guard. Nice effort again by Marcus Lee. Somebody inside on the offensive glass.
You know, Larry, I'm just sitting here looking around the arena. A few people starting to head to the exits right now, but it's a real phenomenon. I don't know if it's this way every place. But, you know, the Kentucky fan just comes out a lot more for the night football game. But they love these afternoon basketball games. You know, I guess everybody got to go to church this morning and have a little lunch afterwards. Now they get home at a decent time to start the week. But you've seen it before. Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon games.
Absolutely.
The joint is jumping.
You're right.
Good crowd this afternoon. Sold out, Rupp Arena. Flournoy with a little jump hook over Hood.
Flournoy having good back-to-back games to start the season for Northern Kentucky.
John Hood. Boy, he looked good going straight up on that jump shot off the curl. Oh, and Johnson took it right at Lee. Would have been a tough catch for Willis. Cal likes the way they're pushing.
Came off him. Eventually are over there. The group out there playing right now has been playing well.
Boy, haven't they though? There you see the all-time wins leaders.
Kansas has gone by North Carolina. North Carolina was chasing Kentucky for decades there, and now Kansas in the number 2 position.
Rosenwinkel gets the 3 off the Norse bench.
As a basketball fan, I will tell you this selfishly. I wish Kentucky, Kansas, and North Carolina and Duke would play each other every year.
That'd be a nice event to promote if you could get the rights to it, wouldn't it?
Wow.
Willis knocks it down as Kentucky matches its largest lead. And a spin move inside. Camps fouled by Hood.
Dave, Kentucky's got 49 rebounds on the afternoon, and Julius Randle with 14 of them, and Cauley Stein with 11. And again, Randle, as we indicated, with the double-double.
Randle has got that double-double. He's got the 22 points to go along with the 14 rebounds, 3 assists, and again, 10 made free throws in 29 minutes of play.
Starters for Kentucky today shot 57%, and they pulled down 29 of those 49 rebounds.
Alex Poitras with 9 points and 7 rebounds. Cauley Stein, 11 boards and 7 points. I mean, that's the kind of balance. This is the thing that Cal's been talking about. You look at the Harrisons. Aaron had 16. Andrew had 13. That's the kind of balance that people just can't guard. You know, who are you going to shade?
Makes it very difficult if you're an opponent of Kentucky's, at least right now. You know, it has a way of, as we sift through the season, you begin to find out where the strengths of teams are and where their weaknesses are. Right now, the only weakness you see right now is getting everybody on the same page, getting everybody organized, and understanding that you've got teammates and you've got to give up a little something to make this team a little better.
And a push. Looked like Camps might have gotten an arm on Polson, but Polson is going to get called for the foul. It's his first. And as we wind down the final 2 minutes of this one, Larry, everybody's been talking about it now. So Your thoughts on that 1 versus 2 matchup, Kentucky and Michigan State on Tuesday night?
I think Kentucky's going to have a really difficult time against Michigan State. The one reason is because they have the same size that Kentucky has.
Right.
Now, whether they have the skill and the athletic ability that Kentucky has, I think Michigan State might be somewhat slower. I think Kentucky up and down the floor is a better team. But when you come to benches, I want to tell you something. Michigan State's bench is equal to Kentucky's bench. They got 4 guys coming off that bench that can play, and they're big guys, too. It will be a terrific basketball game.
Here's the X factor for me. Michigan State certainly has taken on the persona of its coach, Tom Izzo. And because of that, they have been one of the toughest teams in college basketball year in and year out. With this new emphasis on freedom of movement, and with these top 4 teams being showcased on national television, you got to believe it's going to be even a tighter whistle than it has. And how does Michigan State adjust to that? Because as John Calipari would tell you, his freshmen don't know enough about defense to be playing a lot yet.
You know, that's a question to be answered. I'm sort of anxious also to see Duke and Kansas to see how they're going to react to this. You know, oftentimes the way you've been coaching defense for years, and all of a sudden you've got to make a change, it's more difficult for the coach sometimes than it is the player.
You're right. Hawkins lobbed that ball up there. He may not have realized it was John Hood he was lobbing it to. But Hoodie got himself a slam the other night off the lob. 12th turnover against the Cats. Johnson got himself another rebound. And then a 3-pointer. Johnson's 9th point. That little guy's got 7 rebounds again. He had double-figure rebounds against Purdue. He is actually Northern's leading rebounder again.
The foul is on Camps. That's his 4th. Willis at the line.
Derek Willis goes to the line as Camps is whistled for his 4th foul. Under a minute to go. Cal wanting his guys to push the pace.
Nice scramble there in the corner by Todd Johnson. He got it away inside from Dominique Wilkins. Dave, one of the things I have noticed about this basketball game as opposed to the first game we saw with the University of North Carolina at Asheville is that a lot more transition in this game than what we saw in the first one. We've seen Kentucky go up and down the floor, and I think Cal at halftime was right. I think defensively they're better. As he always says, and you know, this is the 5th year that I've been around him here at Kentucky, and he always says it's a work in progress. Well, it is a work in progress, particularly when you got a lot of guys that are freshmen and you turn them over every year. It's always going to be a work in progress. Just a basketball team with a lot of talent. They have made progress in the first 2 games they played.
And Larry, we saw Alabama put away LSU last night. Are there 2 guys in any 2 jobs in sports that are better fits for their respective programs than Saban at Alabama and John Calipari here at Kentucky?
I would totally agree.
They are flat getting her done, as we say in the South. And the Cats got her done again this afternoon. A 30-point win over the Norse of NKU, a game that will help Northern Kentucky as they play in the A-Sun, a game that will help them financially as they continue to develop that program. It was a Division II powerhouse, and a game that will help Kentucky as the Cats get set for a 1 versus 2 matchup Tuesday night in Chicago. #1 Kentucky